We got to talk about the thing.
Yeah,
so
this is the thing, man, and this has got such a history and such a story. I was a big marching band guy growing up, and in high school, I had those chops. I played snare, and I was all about it. Did an indoor drum line, all of that. When I moved to Nashville, I thought I was going to continue doing it, but I didn't, and I started playing, more contemporary. I was playing drum set, and I was just like, no more. But I think those chops really mean something, and they're valuable. Really, in the long run, when you have them. But this drum was from the pit ensemble, like the front ensemble. And a buddy of mine, Jamie, was the auxiliary percussion guy. And he had like a pearl rack that had a bunch of stuff on it. Some concert toms, ribbon crashers, suspended cymbal, whatever, wood block, just like a bunch of percussion stuff. And he had this Gong bass drum that was mounted like this. So it's got the double pearl bracket. Okay, and we've rigged it to where I mount it on one side, and there's a quick clip 52 that's basically like drilled into the other side.
Cool.
So the 52 just comes on and off. So live in our show, I pick this thing up. It's mobile, so I'm not wireless mic. I'm just I can pick it up. So I get, like, when we do the big stadium shows, I get a 100-foot cable, so I can take this thing and just roll with it. I can go up the catwalk, do whatever I want to do, and so it's really great. And I'm also like not the kindest to it, and I like kind of throw it around and stuff, which is why we haven't done the wireless pack yet, because it's like the mic is one thing, but you have that pack on it. It's like it's a lot heavier and stuff like that. From Lexington, Kentucky, we did a club show. This was 2011 probably, and we were staying with my folks. We were staying with my parents, and that drum was in the corner of the room. And Tyler said something to me about it. He's like, "Hey, what is that?" Like, he wanted to know what it was, and I was like, "Oh, it's this Gong drum." And I sometimes I use it. I used to, when I first had it, I set it up on my left side because there was this drummer that I listened to and still love today called Marco Minnemann. His name is Marco Minnemann. He's like a German guy, crazy, like plays wild music, does solo stuff. But he always had his on his left side where he could kind of almost double as a boom, set, do, catch him. He kind of move his left hand. It was really awesome. And so I that night I was like, you know what? He was like, you should set it up. And so I did. I set it up at the kit. I think it was actually more off stage, but like I think our sound guy played it at some point. It was a party that night. We were just, so then, like, I think the next show or maybe the following show, we were in Grand Rapids. I remember this vividly, and he was like, called a solo for me, and for whatever reason I just grabbed that thing and I ran forward and I ran off stage and I just started going for it. And some of that, like, I was playing the rim, I was playing the side, I was playing just whatever, and I was just kind of, and it was kind of going back to the marching band sort of thing, like where those chops, it was like, all that stuff coming flooding back, but and then it became a thing. It was like suddenly the thing, and it was like this like visceral moment that was like really fun. Everybody congregated around me. We had no idea what we were doing. It was just this thing. And then obviously it started to get a little bit more rehearsed, more structured. We were figuring out certain things to do. And so over the years, I had it, I took it to Andy as well, Drum Supply, and he cut it down. It's a 20-inch drum. It's actually a Slingerland drum. It's a 20-inch drum. It was 20 by 14. And I took it in. The shell was in rough shape because I'd thrown it around, and it was already in rough shape. And the reason that I took it is because when I graduated, they're throwing all these drums away. Okay. And they were basically like, hey, if you want one, take it. So this is the one drum that I took. I was like, I don't know. I think I'll do something with it one day. And here we are, 20, Dude, I've used it forever. That's cool, man. And so, so he rewrapped it for me, cut it down, and now it's like 20 inches by like 9 3/4. He cut all the bad shell out of it, and I'm sure it's got some bad as well. It's kind of like it needs some TLC, but to me it's a thing, and it's like, so the way I treat it live, you can watch videos on YouTube. I just go for it, and this is probably my 30th metal rim that I've gone through because these things just get torn up, but I buy them and just have them on standby and just switch them out. This one's brand new. Put it on right before soundcheck. It had to look nice for the rig rundown. But it's funny, man, because these all get, the rods get, the thing just goes through hell. And so, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a really like a centerpiece of our show. Yeah. And so it's really cool. And every time we do acoustic shows or like radio stuff, it's like, I think I just shy away from the cajon, man. I just don't I don't want to do it. So what I do, man, is I throw like a little bandana on this, get it like real muffled, and I just kind of, but you can hear what it's.
Yeah, man.
Right, I mean, it's killer. I mean, it's awesome. So live, I'll do like a. So then you can kind of get to the side of the drum. So, super cool.
Yeah, very awesome. And I mean,
Yeah.
you're playing it like a snare, but it's set up like a bass drum.
Yeah, totally. It's hard to get some like really like any doubles out of it. They don't speak as well, so you can do some singles on it and be killer. So, yeah, man, it's awesome. It's like almost my version of my 808, right?
That's it.
Boom. And so in the kit, it's kind of more of like a, I don't use it really as a tom. I don't do fills around it, but it's a big like a
Just a sub drop.
Totally. It's like a big, it's like an accent drum.
Yeah.
Taiko drum, some people would say.
Right.
Right. So if I'm doing big, like, big moments where I'm doing that, right, to have that in addition to really adds a lot.
Right.
So,
Yeah, you're gonna feel that in the back row.
Totally.
You know what
And
I
so
mean?
then when you have your sub and you're like, all right, cool, send my kick through it, send the bass through it, send my gong drum through it. And it's just, it's the best. It's awesome. So especially in those big stadiums.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And you're getting a lot of that tone from that EMAD.
Yeah, man. So the EMAD, I like the thicker, because you don't want it to ring
The thicker
much. You want
foam.
it to, yeah, the thicker foam, because it comes with the tube.
Yeah.
Always put the thicker foam in it, and I love. And so also the other thing about the EMAD is always the EMAD heavyweight, right? I want it to be as durable as possible because I do play it hard, and the way that I play it is pretty intense. So funny story, the last weekend run that we did. Weekend before last, I had a standard EMAD. I messed up by accident and bought just a standard EMAD, and I went through it in 2 shows. And so it was kind of one of those things where, like, this one, and I'll change them very often, and I'm sure, some people watching this have some of our heads because we always either give them away or sell them at the merch booth because I go through a bunch of them. But yeah, the heavyweight, man, it lasts me a lot.
That's
longer.
awesome.
Yeah, durability is, and I just love the way it sounds, man. I got a little patch on it, and it's killer.
Yeah, it's super awesome. It sounds great.
Thank you.
Woo!